Mussolini, monks and microstates, the bizarre tale of Vatican City. Once upon a time, in a land that could be circumnavigated on foot in 40 minutes, a tiny but mighty nation was born, Vatican City. It boasts grand architecture, the world's holiest art collection, and arguably the most confusing form of government known to mankind. And as with most strange things in modern history, Benito Mussolini had something to do with it. Long before Vatican City was a postage stamp-sized country, the Pope had a whole empire called the Papal States, covering much of what we now call Italy. This was great because nothing says religious humility like owning land the size of Portugal. For over 1,000 years, popes ruled, taxed, and occasionally excommunicated people with royal flair. Then along came Italy, a feisty young nation in the 19th century that wanted Rome as its capital. So in 1870, Italy's army showed up, kicked the Pope's door down, and absorbed the Papal States into the new Kingdom of Italy. The Pope, understandably annoyed, retreated behind the walls of the Vatican, refused to acknowledge Italy's existence, and sulked for 60 years. Imagine someone taking your house, then you move into the backyard shed and angrily insist the house doesn't exist, while demanding the new owners bring you food. That was basically the Pope's life from 1870 to 1929. Enter Benito Mussolini, a man who thought wearing military uniforms 24/7 made him a genius. In the 1920s, Il Duce grew tired of the Pope constantly complaining about his imprisonment, so he decided to strike a deal. The Lateran Treaty of 1929 was a beautifully awkward compromise. 1. Italy gave the Vatican to the Pope. Congratulations. You get a 0.2 square mile country. 2. Italy gave the Pope a truckload of money, a divine apology fund. 3. The Pope acknowledged that Italy existed. Big of him, really. 4. The Pope promised to stay out of politics, except when he didn't. And just like that, Vatican City became the world's smallest country, a religious Disneyland with a functional government. Vatican City has everything a normal country has. A government with laws, a police force with a jail no one stays in for long, a bank which has had some very interesting scandals, license plates that no citizen is allowed to drive outside its walls, and AVA, internet domain, perfect for sending holy emails. But here's where it gets weird. Vatican City is not actually like any other country because it is technically run by two different entities at once. The Holy See, the religious side, basically Catholic Church Inc., which the Pope runs as CEO of God's corporation, and Vatican City, the political side ruled by a king who happens to be the Pope. That's right, Vatican City is an absolute monarchy, one of the last 6 in the world. The king, Pope, has total power, and his legislative branch, a group of cardinals, exists only for decoration. If the Pope wakes up one morning and declares all citizens must wear matching socks, it becomes law. This absolute power is why Vatican City can't join the European Union. Turns out democracy is required. So, if the Pope is both the religious leader and the king of Vatican City, does that make him a divine dictator? Yes, it does. As the Bishop of Rome, he sits on the Holy See, which isn't a chair, but rather the name for his authority. Though, let's be honest, it would be funnier if it was just a really fancy chair. When a pope dies, or in rare cases quits, looking at you, Benedict XVI, a new one is elected in a secret cardinal-only meeting called the Conclave, where smoke signals determine the winner. Basically, it's medieval reality TV. And while popes change, the Holy See remains eternal, just like the awkwardness of explaining Vatican City to a confused tourist. Most countries have citizens born within their borders. Vatican City does not. How to become a Vatican citizen, get a job working for the Pope, how to lose your Vatican citizenship, quit that job. Vatican citizenship is temporary, you only have it as long as you work there. If you leave, the Pope King fires you from the country. And since the Vatican has a strict no reproduction policy because of the whole celibacy thing, no one is ever born a citizen. It's the only country where human reproduction is not a factor in population growth. Take that, Singapore. The Pope's army, the Swiss cheese guards. Defending the Vatican is the Swiss Guard, a 400-year-old mercenary unit dressed in Renaissance pajamas. Though they look like medieval court jesters, don't be fooled. These guys are trained in modern combat and will absolutely take you down if you try anything funny near the Pope. Their loyalty contract states must be Swiss, must be Catholic, must be male, and must be willing to guard a 78-year-old man in white robes with absolute seriousness. It's like a strange religious version of the Avengers, minus the spandex and superpowers. The Vatican's business side: merch, money, and scandals. For a country so small, Vatican City has a thriving economy thanks to tourism. The Vatican museums are one of the top tourist attractions in the world. Stamps, Vatican postage stamps, are highly collectible. Merchandise. Nothing says faith like Pope bobbleheads and Vatican keychains. Banking, home to the Vatican Bank, which has had a shady history, including money laundering scandals so wild even Hollywood couldn't make them up. And despite having millions of euros pass through its bank, Vatican City's economy is mostly cash-based, because nothing screams trust us like priests handling suitcases of money. Despite its tiny size, Vatican City wields enormous influence. Over 1 billion Catholics worldwide look to it for spiritual guidance, and every pope shapes history in some way. It has also mastered the art of neutrality, surviving World War II, countless scandals, and tourists trying to sneak pictures in the Sistine Chapel. So, while Vatican City is smaller than a shopping mall, it remains one of the most powerful places on Earth. Vatican City is part Holy Empire, part medieval monarchy, part corporate HQ, and 100% bizarre. Whether you find it inspiring or confusing, one thing's for sure: it's proof that history is stranger than fiction. And if you ever visit, remember, the Pope is technically a king. The Vatican has no permanent citizens. The Swiss Guard could beat you up while wearing tights. The whole thing exists because Mussolini was tired of complaints. History, folks, it's hilarious. Attention, internet people! If you've made it this far, congratulations, you now qualify for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Smashing that like button instantly increases your coolness by 327%. Scientifically unproven, but spiritually accurate. Subscribing guarantees good vibes and fewer traffic jams in your life. Hitting the notification bell may or may not summon a tiny dancing robot to your home, so go ahead, click those magical buttons before they get lonely. Otherwise, a mildly disappointed virtual pigeon will be sent to stare at you judgmentally. Thanks for watching. You're awesome.